And welcome back to Mortgage Talk with Mark. And actually, not only a happy day, but a happy new year. We are starting out the 2026 with the first show of the year. And I'm very excited to bring back a returning guest of mine and a good friend of mine named Ken Renner, who's got a lot of experience, not only in real estate, but mortgage. And he's also an author. He's going to talk about some books he's written about real estate investing. And he's really somebody you want to listen to. So if you're even thinking about buying or selling in 2026, stay tuned to this because you're going to learn something, I promise you. So welcome, Ken.
Hey, Happy New Year, Mark.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
It has.
Been 6 months since I've been on the show.
That's right. That's right. We're going to talk about what's changed over the last 6 months. And
really not a whole lot.
And really what hadn't changed.
What hadn't changed.
Yeah.
Interest rates haven't changed, right?
A
little bit. They went down a little bit.
Yeah. We're seeing a break. We were talking about this even before the show. The rates are running about 6%.
Yeah.
And again, we were talking about some of our background, but this is my 40th year doing home loans.
Nice.
And when I got in the business in 85, rates were 13.5.
Yeah.
And then by 2022, they were 2.5, you see.
Oh, yeah.
But the average over that span is around 6%.
Oh, yeah. And that's the norm. I mean,
it is the norm.
That's the way when I got in the business is 1983. So I got you beat by a couple of years.
Yeah, you do.
So I'm the OG.
the OG. I heard that term not long ago. I didn't even know what it meant, but now we are the OG. I love it.
Yeah. So original gangster, I believe.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And I was and the rates were 12%. And just coming down from 16%. So,
right.
It was all relative. And that's when I bought my first house. I can't even remember the interest rate on that, but that you had to do what you had to do. So it's the bottom line is that we've been around this town a lot. We've been here for 40 years, 4 decades. We've seen it, the booms and busts of markets.
We've seen all the cycles you can have.
All the cycles you can have.
Yeah,
and so
for sure.
But Austin is still the 11th largest city in the United States. It's not going anywhere. It's the crown jewel of Central Texas.
Absolutely, no question.
So yeah, it's a great place to be. And what was it like back in the mid '80s?
It was quiet, and it was no traffic. Oh, I can tell you that.
So when I first
moved no traffic.
When I first moved here in 1993, 92, 93, I was driving down 183, and the guy got on the announcer on the radio because I was from Southern California where the traffic was like hours, right? Yeah. So I get here and the guy got on the radio and says, "We have a 3-minute delay on 183 today." I was like, "You gotta be, this is a joke, right?"
Yeah.
A 3-minute delay.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that was back in the days when Willie Nelson was playing downtown.
Oh, sure.
Hole in the wall bars.
It was fantastic. I kind of miss old Austin, to be honest.
Oh,
with you,
yeah.
But I do appreciate people moving here because it's good for business. Let's face it. We rely on new people, and they showed up.
Yeah, they sure did.
They showed up. And I got here in 77 to go to school.
Oh, okay.
I got here when Mopac didn't even cross Town Lake.
Oh, wow.
You had to get off at First Street and around to Lamar.
You mean that's like when they had like the covered wagons and stuff?
Just about tumbleweeds and horses,
Yeah, how we've come. I just was reading in the new book here that by Henry Cisneros, the ex-mayor of San Antonio, and he was saying that IBM was the first company or tech company here. It was 1967, and they built typewriters.
Yeah,
can you imagine that?
Typewriters.
And then MCC came after that, and Motorola came a few years after.
Texas Instruments showed up.
Texas Instruments showed up, and boy, Texas Instruments blown up in a big way. So that was kind of the history. The history. When I got here, we go back to the reminiscing. Went to the Dell Factory Outlet. That's when they had a retail store, right? When he first started off, right? When he first moved out of the UT building and into his he was getting his first boots on the ground manufacturing computers. And I bought this laptop. I was like, wow, laptop, 256 megahertz. You didn't even turn on. It's like barely turn on, but I had a laptop.
Yeah. I was professional.
And so I was walking out like it was $2,000 back in the 80s and 90s for a laptop that didn't work. And so I'm like walking out of the store. I said, should I buy the Dell stock or should I buy this laptop? Sorry, you know the answer.
Yeah. Oops. Yeah. It's one of those oops, one of those hindsight deals. But let's talk about real estate, what your expertise is, because we've done a lot of business together, and I followed you for a long time, not only on social media, but obviously personally.
Yeah, we do a lot of networking together.
Absolutely.
You spoke at my networking group, the Kingdom.
That's right.
Yeah, so
you may want to share some of that too.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, definitely.
So the audience may be interested in that.
Yeah. It's Kingdom Entrepreneurs is our networking faith-based networking meeting that we have. We have an online version and an in-person version every month. and it's just kingdomatx.com. It's just, right now it's just a Facebook. So we have about 30 to 50 people come.
Yeah, it's a great group.
Have lunch, network. Like it's kind of like a B&A, but not,
right,
and
not as formal.
Yeah, it's more.
But you have better speakers too.
Yeah, well, you were the speaker.
Well,
yeah, I know.
I'll give kudos to my wife on that one.
Yeah, you guys do great. Yeah, so that's a fun thing that we do, and it's always driving business as well. But I've been a real estate broker now since 1983, and so it's 43 years. I've seen it all come and go, and I've really been really fortunate with growing up with the Austin city, watched it go from being a 500,000, city population to now, 2.1 million.
Yeah.
Watch the whole thing go and be part of it.
Yeah.
And
it has been fun. I will say that.
It really was, it's been a ride.
Yeah.
And so,
and one of the best parts of that is we're still having fun in our business.
Oh yeah.
I'm enjoying it more now than the business has been a little quiet, but so what,
Yeah.
It's still a good, still enjoying it.
But we're also educators now,
That's right.
It's because we've done so many, and we've done thousands of transactions.
Sure.
And that's something that AI can't really figure out. And it's certainly something that's new in the business, so that's the thing that we have is this decades of experience and bringing that to the table. And really we get kind of pretty much paid the same as any other, realtor or loan officer for the job.
That's right.
So you can either get somebody who's got 4 decades or, maybe somebody doesn't, so.
And let's talk about your expertise around that, because there's a big difference between an advisor like you and a transactional salesperson.
Well, anybody really can do a transaction.
Anybody.
I mean, any good realtor, but that's the thing is, but how do you get the people that are looking to transact, how do you get them to trust?
Mm-hmm.
We're in an industry that's hard to find the trust level, right?
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, we're on the top 5 list
right up there
realtors,
with used car salesmen.
Yeah. Thanks. Appreciate that. Politicians, right? Yeah.
Politicians.
Yeah. So the trust factor. And so what I've been doing, I've always educated. And so when I first got here in the early 90s, I started doing, I was looking for the niche. And this is something we probably need to talk about in business future. Where are the niches?
Mm-hmm.
Where is the market not being served?
Mm-hmm.
And that's riches are in the niches.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I came here, 80s had taken a big bite out of the real estate market here. It was way worse than it was even then. And
it was tough.
Yeah, it was. I mean, you got into it right at the
beginning of it.
The beginning. Yeah.
Every other house was a foreclosure.
It really was about 40%, foreclosed.
It was tough.
It was, 40% of the homes. So I've been through the late 80s, a lot of these people went through it and lost their house.
Right.
And when the early 90s, when I got here, they had their credit was a little messed up. They had, they're having fear. I don't want to ever have to go through that again.
Mm-hmm.
I said, but look, you're paying more in rent than you are for a house payment. Why are you doing that when we could help you buy a house? I don't want to buy a house. I don't want to buy a house.
Mm-hmm.
It hurt too much to lose it. I said, no, let's fix your credit. So I started helping them fix their credits.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started a little a crash course. About 1995, I started a crash course. I was doing loans and I was teamed up with some realtors, and we would go right here in near the Arboretum, and we would present and
do seminars,
teach them how to do why they should buy a home and the 10 steps on how to do it.
Yeah.
And so I put that together, that presentation. I did it hundreds and hundreds of times.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, all the way through the years, and it turned into eventually this book, which is my new book, Home Buying Secrets.
Make sure
Revealed.
They can see it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's Home Buying Secrets Revealed. And so this actually was written in 2010.
Okay.
But
I read it. It's a great book.
Yeah. But I revised it because there's been a lot of changes since 2010.
Absolutely.
Been, over 15 years. And so I'm really excited about the revised edition because it covers a lot of, as we have like 160 different secrets, including mortgage secrets.
Yeah.
A whole chapter on mortgage secrets.
That's good.
On how to put a buyer in the best position.
Is this my gift today?
Absolutely. And guess what? We're in a buyer's market.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. For the first time in 13 years.
A long time.
So when do you buy? Do you buy when it's a screaming seller's market where there's nothing on the market?
Right. You got to overpay for something.
You got to, and there's been a lot of people bought because they had to get in, but that's not really the home they wanted.
Right.
And 3 or 4 years,
now they're not happy.
They're not happy. There's like a certain amount of percentage of people that are like, oh, I bought, but it's not really what I wanted.
Right.
I had to buy it because that's what was available.
Right.
So, that's the whole thing, is that through education, able to get the trust built, to let them know that I'm on their side, and that they have the right to have representation, and they have the right to have an amazing loan officer that knows what they're doing, that is competitive in rates.
That's right.
So I always say, when you're shopping for shopping for a realtor,
That could be a
shopping
secret.
shopping for a loan, and it's in there, is you shouldn't be shopping for a loan. You should be shopping for a lender. You should
That's
be
right.
shopping for, because it's just like, it doesn't matter if the top agent works for Keller Williams or EXP. The bottom line is that you want the top care where they work.
Sure.
So it's not about
So
the mortgage company.
Right.
It's about the individual loan officer.
That's right.
And so,
That speaks to a white paper I wrote a while back called The Truth in Lending, where I sent it out to prospects about how to shop for a mortgage.
yeah,
I mean, this is kind of how it works. I kind of pull the curtains back on the industry and share, different channels of business, of loan companies, mortgage companies, questions to ask, why rates change, blah, blah, blah.
yeah, and how to follow it. You actually, buyer, you're in much better leverage position. And the problem is, a lot of home buyers don't have the knowledge, and they may just go walk into a builder's model or an open house and buy a house from the seller's representative.
Right.
And that's a
mistake.
Well, it's like going to court and having the prosecutor, and you're the defense. The prosecutor's also representing you too. I don't think so. So yeah, that's the whole thing. And I mean, you don't go to court. You don't go to court with an attorney. You don't go to an audit without your CPA.
Right. That's right. That's right.
So you have the right to have your own representation, and you have the right to have your own loan officer.
Sure.
And I know that the builders have been crushing it right now because they're offering these low interest rate finance things.
Right.
And you also have come up with solutions to that too, because any seller could do what the builders are doing and offering these discounts.
That's right.
And that's one of the things we'll be talking about, especially when we get into some of the numbers, is that rather than taking a discount on the price, maybe you should offer.
I show that. I illustrate it all the time.
Yeah, to show maybe what 5 points buys.
Yeah,
5% up front.
Yeah. How much you can save you monthly? Hundreds.
Yeah, and you can offer that as a marketing for your property.
Right.
That you can get an interest rate just to match what the builders are doing.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
So it's all about education, and so right now the builders are doing really, but they're cannibalizing each other. And they're cannibalizing the resale market by offering these low interest rates. And so,
and again, once this market turns,
right,
when demand starts coming back, which I think we're going to see more of that this year, is my guess.
Well, there's a pent up demand.
There is a pent up demand.
I mean, the people haven't been buying, but doesn't mean they don't want to buy.
You're right.
They haven't been selling, but doesn't mean they don't want to sell a lot of times. And we educate our clients. Why would you sell that great house that you currently own, has a 2.5%, 3% interest rate, when you could hold on to it, becomes an asset, rent it out? We'll show you how to do that. We'll guide you through it, or we have a management company if you want us to handle it, and then go buy your next house and keep the previous one.
That's right.
So you have some tax rules too. So let's say you had a lot of appreciation, but you didn't want to sell in this market, if you sell it, you still got 3 years to get the free capital gains.
Yeah.
Up to $250,000 to $500,000 capital gains tax free.
Yeah, I love that.
A lot of realtors and loan officers don't talk about the alternatives. Why would you sell a great asset if it was a great? Ask your parents. That's in my book too. Ask your parents or your grandparents. Anybody, I always say, is do they wish they kept their first house?
Yeah. My first house was in 1990. And down in the Oak Hill area.
Okay.
And I paid $90,000 for it. I wish I owned that.
Yeah, I wish you owned that house.
It's worth more today.
Because then I could be on your yacht instead of being here in this radio station.
That's right.
So yeah, I know.
Well, let's get to some of the numbers, because we don't have a lot of time, to be honest with you. But I love the visit. But let's talk about the numbers so people get a grip of what's going on currently.
Okay, so right now we're looking at. I've got the stats for Austin, Round Rock, MSA, which is the five county area. From the Board of Realtors, they're always a month.
What are the counties? Travis, Hayes, Williamson,
Travis,
Bastrop?
Hayes, Bastrop,
Colwell.
Yeah, and so in fact, all those counties are blowing up right now. Travis is, obviously the center where most of Austin is located. Yeah. But right now we're looking at a median sales price in Austin's 400 for the whole metro is 430,000.
For all five.
For all five, yeah.
Okay.
Which is down 1.1% from last year.
Okay.
So remember, we were here June. I said, what's going on with the market? I said, it's flat.
Yeah.
And so we're here in January. It's flat.
Yeah.
So we're not. People are like, well, I don't want to buy because it's going to continue to drop. It's like, I think I've been predicting markets for many years, and that's what people come to me is like, what's going to happen? Where's over the horizon, right? And
you've been a very successful investor as well,
right?
You own a lot of
by
properties.
Getting in front of the
that's right
of the growth and getting in front and planting yourself in the path of development.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of where I'm at. But 430,000, that's not much difference than the median price across the United States.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, Austin's a lot nicer than a lot of places in the United States. So
I grew up in Houston, And I'd never go.
So
I'd never go back.
I'm so sorry.
Like, oh my gosh! Like I came to Austin, I thought it was in heaven. You know,
well, that's what they say about people who live in Houston. They die and go to heaven. Die and go to Austin. That's funny.
That's funny. Hey, I
want to talk a little bit more about some of the more concerning stats.
Yeah.
The active listings are up to 11.2%. More active listings.
Really?
Yeah.
From this time last year?
Yes.
Okay.
And then and pending sales are up 4.5. That's good to know. Months of inventory 6.3. That's the most we've had since 2013.
Okay.
So
that's 13 years.
Yeah, wow. That's a long time. Average days on the market 79 days. So basically 80 days, almost 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
That's average. That means half of them are less than that. Half of them are
more
longer.
Yeah.
So be prepared on your sales cycle that you're going to be however long. It's going to take you 90 days to sell it, probably between 60 and 90 days on average. And then you're going to have a 2-month closing, a month to 2 months. So that you got to be planning this like 4 or 5 months out.
Yeah.
Right. You should be, if you're going to sell and close in summer or close late spring,
get started now.
Yeah. And then this is the concerning was 91.7% average close to list price ratio. So what that is
that compared to last year? How does that compare?
Last year was 92.5%.
Okay. So it's a little bit less.
Yeah, but it's almost 8%.
Yeah.
It's actually more than 8% of the average of what people are discounting their properties for.
Yeah.
So on a $500,000 property, 8% is $40,000.
Right.
Or you're going to be looking at $460,000.
Yeah.
And I have this conversation with sellers all the time. I just be prepared that's the average.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's good that people know that up front.
Well, then you say this. Well, why don't you go to take that instead of taking a discount on their price? Why don't you offer them a really low interest rate through Mark Harriston?
There you go.
And we'll subsidize that instead of taking it off the price. We'll just pay the points to get the interest rate down to 4.5% or 5%.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
It was about 5 points to get to around 5.25.
Yeah, about 5.25.
Well, that's less than 8% of losing on the sales price.
Exactly.
So you can offer them a different angle, so we can offer you a lower payment than you would if you had a lower price.
Yep.
So
I show that, I illustrate that all the time because that's the math works. Get the better rate. Obviously.
For sure. And really the rates they're already going to be Powell's going to be out, right? So
Powell's going to be out come May for sure.
So we're going to know that there's depending on what happens with the powers that be, right?
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it. Williamson County, pretty much the same story. 81 days on the market, 91% closing ratio, average price to closing ratio. So what I did want to say before we get too far, before our time is up, is that I do have my home buying crash course. It's based on this book of 2 chapters on the book. I give the book away plus a whole home buying toolkit.
Okay.
Which has all kinds of great tools for, calculators and all this stuff for a home buyer. And we're having them at the builders models. We've been doing this for many years.
Yeah.
And Braun Homes.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So Braun Homes is building homes in a subdivision called Cascade up in Liberty Hill. And it's in Liberty Hill ISD, which is a really great school district. It's 5 minutes from the new Costco.
Okay.
It's like a huge Costco, and the world's largest Target store is going in.
Really?
At the corner, yeah. To Super Target, the world's largest.
That's amazing.
Yeah, around the corner at 29 and 183. So this is 5 minutes from there. Homes are starting in the 250s.
Wow.
So I'm like, okay, I need to go do my home buying class. And that's exactly what we're doing is a home buying crash course.
Is it every week or once a month?
It's once a month. So right now we're doing the first 3 months. We're doing the last Saturday of each month. So it'll be like January 31st. And it's 11 to 12.
Okay.
It's a Saturday, 11 to 12. And then we have educate. And then we also can even get pre-qualified.
Oh, great.
Get you run your credit but basically an hour to teach you how to buy a house after me doing this for 40 years of experience into 1 hour. And it really builds that trust and it answers a lot of questions that everybody has.
Oh, sure.
And so that is homebuyingcrashcourse.com. So homebuyingcrashcourse.com.
Because I remember you used to do that, and then you're bringing that back.
Well, so we brought it back because I switched back in about 2017-18 to the home buyers were kind of struggling to be able, to even buy as prices were starting to go up. So I turned back to investors, which was my other half of my business, my other niche.
Yes.
Which is the deep pocket investors who are looking for the same things, looking for hard assets instead of being all their money in the stock market,
right?
And they're diversifying into some hard assets, which is and entry level housing is absolutely. We're still 4 million homes short in the United States. We still have a housing shortage regardless of what the news says.
Crazy.
So, and that's a very well proven stat by National Association of Realtors. So we've got a long ways to go to catch up.
Sure.
So we're helping where our investors are buying these little homes and they're renting them out. We're offering housing at between $1,500 and $1,800 a month. I mean, this is in our submarkets, which is very affordable, less than a 2-bedroom apartment in Austin.
Right.
And then, but we're also helping them build asset portfolio class. And I've got a lot of people who own over 10 houses, and when those 10 houses are free and clear, that's going to be a nice little retirement.
Absolutely.
So this is a book that just came out. This is not mine.
Yeah, I haven't seen that book.
Yeah,
you mentioned it.
Yeah, it just came out. It was written by Henry Cisneros and a couple other guys. Henry Cisneros was the ex-mayor of San Antonio.
Yeah, sharp guy.
And if you kind of look at this little squiggly thing, it's kind of weird, but that's actually this.
It looks like space.
Well, it's
I
the
guess
lights
it's from space.
Yeah, it's from space. But basically, talking about how the Austin San Antonio region, the mega region, where we've been doing a lot of our investing, because New Braunfels and San Antonio have prices that are 50% below
Austin.
40 to 50% below Austin.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But the rents aren't that much different. So our investors are clamoring. And then we've got these really low interest rates being offered by the builders. So all these, and the tax rates are lower. All these things just lined up. And we literally have sold well over 100 houses in between here and New Braunfels.
Wow.
And San Antonio in the last couple of years.
That's a very interesting even cover right there.
Yeah, it is
showing that it's all going to come together.
It's all going to come together. So they basically, it's just like, if you think Dallas,
it's almost like Dallas Fort Worth.
It is. Yeah. Dallas Fort Worth. They were 2 separate cities. Now they're one, but they're still got their own. They got their own character.
Oh, sure.
So Dallas is more the ritzy metropolitan. Then you got
Fort Worth more cowtown.
It's cowtown.
Yeah.
Same thing with San Antonio. San Antonio is more military and more services, industry and tourism. And then Austin's the poster child of high tech.
Right. That's right. That's a good way of looking at it.
Yeah. And but between the 2 cities, they're coming together, and the towns in between are really nice. San Marcos and New Braunfels. And of course, everybody, that's the poster child, New Braunfels of small town.
Oh, sure.
And we got ahead of that many years ago as far as getting our clients and investors in there. And so we're continuing to do that. And we're even moving up. We just sold our first house in Dallas.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
So to an investor, and I've got a really good knack of finding these pockets of where the potential growth could be.
These are like micro markets, if you will.
They are. I call them submarkets.
Submarkets.
Where they have to have a lot of things lining up, and jobs is one of them. That's the big. That's probably really high on the list. And then there's infrastructure, and there's education. There's all the things that investors are looking for. And I've kind of done it for so long. It's just natural for me to go into seeing North Dallas and go, this place is blowing up. Anna, and the places north of Salina, and I mean Prosper, all those areas.
All those areas are just taking off.
And so, but we found an area called Sherman, Texas, which is about 40 minutes north of McKinney.
Okay.
And Sherman is only a town of 50,000.
There's a college there, I think.
No, well, there might be a little college there, but
the big. I've heard of Sherman. Yeah.
The big. It's just south of the Oklahoma border.
Okay.
And but what it is, it's Texas Instruments is building a $40 billion net chip manufacturing plant
in Sherman.
Wow. The first of 4 buildings is already built, is opening this year.
Wow.
This month.
It's kind of like Taylor getting that Samsung contract.
Exactly. So, and that's where, like Taylor around Austin, Taylor is where Samsung has a $16 billion facility.
Yeah.
Well, think about $16 billion.
Times
this is
three.
$40 billion facility for a town of 50,000 people.
It will be 50,000 long.
And we just sold one for $228,000. Rents for $1,800 a month.
Oh, Lord.
So
I love that.
So that's kind of where I find these spots. The thing is there's just not a whole lot available. So it's going to go quickly. And so,
what do you think about Austin area? We talked about Taylor, and a friend of mine, he's looking at Rockdale as a potential. As a maybe
any of that spillover is going to work. I mean, Taylor was a spillover, right?
Oh, absolutely. So was Hutto.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
All those areas now, their attraction. Williamson County is blowing up right now as far as industry. It's all systems go. Hey,
Mhm.
Firefly just had their IPO. It was a $10 billion IPO. It was only supposed to be a $2 billion.
Wow.
So, I mean, that's in Cedar Park. It's a rocket ship company. I mean,
Crazy.
manufacturing
And Bastrop too.
And Bastrop has movie theaters, and of course, Elon's just building out all of this, the Starlink and the Boring Company, and
nobody used to look out there. Del Valley and all that by the racetrack. The prices
all that's, and then the racetrack.
Yeah.
I mean, Dakota and I mean, this place is still just growing,
very vibrant,
and it's really it's an opportunity for us to take advantage of these low home prices.
Absolutely,
it's one of the best cities in the world.
Yeah, I promote like you. I own several properties, and I believe in real estate. We have little dips sometimes, but dips is time to buy. I bought a house in 2010 right after the recession.
Right.
They were
the time to
away.
buy. It's the time to buy is now. The time to buy is when nobody else is really buying.
That's right.
And then usually when people start entering the market, is the rates have dropped, all of a sudden you have a big flood and you miss the bottom.
Yep. You miss the bottom.
So very hard to predict the top, very hard to predict the bottom, but you can know what the trends are. And that's what we always educate throughout.
And that's what
all
you
the
do.
Things that we do monthly, daily, we're educating which way the direction the market's going. And right now, time to buy before they go up.
Yeah.
Because that's the next direction.
Talk a little bit about, you got about a minute left.
Yeah.
This is a longer conversation about exit strategy. How people's mindset that they need an exit strategy. They can't, if you're going to live here 1 year, don't buy a house.
Don't buy a house if you're only going to be. Usually it's a 3 to 5
year play.
Yeah. So don't buy a house if you're only going to be short term. Leasing is a much better option for that. And the exit strategy for people is be flexible with if you don't have to sell right now, don't sell. But if you do have to sell, you have to be very creative, and you have to talk to people like
Ken Renner. Yeah, there's your team right there.
There's so much you can do with mortgage financing these days. So,
I can't wait to reread your book, man.
Well, yeah, I need to put you in here
on the cover.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah. Well, you'll get the first one when it comes out, Mark.
I can't wait because I like you said, I like education too, and